My name is Ruth Bromley. I'm the Chair of Manchester Health and Care Commissioning, and I was born and bred in Manchester. So on my very first day as Chair of Manchester Health and Care Commissioning, having been elected by my GP colleagues in the city, my Chief Accountable Officer Ian Williamson gave me a present, and that present was the opportunity to be co-sponsor to the Manchester Poverty Truth Commission.
And what made you want to be part of the commission?
So I wanted to be part of the commission because it felt like a really positive way to channel some of my understanding from working in my community. So I've been a GP with Insure in South Manchester for 20 years and have observed through listening to my patients and watching what happens to them in their daily lives, the real impact and harm that poverty can cause. So I've been a GP with Insure in South Manchester for 20 years and have observed through listening to my patients and watching what happens to them in their daily lives, the real impact and harm that poverty can cause in terms of both physical and mental well-being. Yeah, it feels a long time ago since we first met, and a lot's happened, hasn't it? But I remember the impact of meeting our grassroots commissioners and hearing their stories, and the emotion and the responsibility that came from knowing how brave they were being in their honesty. But I think also there was an impact from meeting my other commissioners who are leaders in the city, who were also there sharing their stories and their experiences, and there was a realisation that there were lots of us that had a similar passion for making a difference. I think you created an amazing culture as our facilitators, and that really helped us to be honest and to work together in a very collaborative way. I think there was humour, there were tears. I think, you know, you came as you were and people nurtured you and looked after you. I think that all made a huge difference. And I think the time as well that we had to really work together and develop relationships, all of those things made a massive difference, I think. I think I was very taken aback by the level of my own emotion in those early days. I will never forget going for coffee with Tom and just that real human connection, sitting in a coffee shop and just two human beings telling each other their stories. And then I think as we moved towards the end of the commission and got into the kind of planning ahead, I think there were some very significant moments in terms of the real impact of trauma and the damage that that can do to people that will stay with me forever and continue to motivate me as we step away from this work. I think there's been healing for me. I think I brought a lot of trauma from my own clinical work, and it's allowed me to see that it's not just my responsibility. So being a GP can feel like quite a lonely job sometimes, and it felt really incredible to be part of a team, and we were all responsible together, and that was both our business and our grassroots commissioners that took that responsibility. So I think that's been really incredible for me. So I've absolutely loved the humanness of it, being with other people and spending time listening to stories. I think a really positive outcome for me is that as my chair role comes to an end and the NHS restructures, I feel like this alone has been a contribution that I've been able to make in this role. It feels like such a positive thing to have been part of, so it gives me something to feel very proud of and to know that I have been able to contribute to the city. So my hope is that we do something with the information that we have. I think we are blessed to have had people that have been so willing to share their experiences. I think we have a huge responsibility to make a difference as a result of it. So my real hope is that this is the beginning and not the end, and that we can look back in another 2 or 3 years' time and say, we here in Manchester are doing this differently because we had a Poverty Truth Commission. I think the experience for me, in one sentence, it has been about human reconnection and healing with other people.